afternoon. I am Tusankin English Francis, the host of this informative discussion ahead of the CARICOM Youth Forum, scheduled for Friday, 24th June. This forum is being hosted through the patronage of the President of Suriname, His Excellency Chandrika Prasad Santoki, and in partnership with the CARICOM Secretariat, the CARICOM Youth Ambassadors Program, the Caribbean Regional Youth Council, and UESTAT Monocore. I have the pleasure of talking with some of the organizers of the forum about its background, their expectations, and the wider youth development agenda in the Caribbean community. In studio with me is the Deputy Program Manager for Youth Development within the Directorate of Human and Social Development of the CARICOM Secretariat, Michelle Small Bartley. And joining us via Zoom is the Dean of the CARICOM Youth Ambassadors Program, the CYA representing Trinidad and Tobago, Attorney at Law Renee Atwell, Ashley Envoy, Communication Officer of the Caribbean Regional Youth Council, and Savian McFadden, Vice President, UESTAT Monocore. Michelle, I want to start with you. Can you put this forum into the context of the wider CARICOM Youth Development agenda?
Well, this is happening in a very large or a bigger framework in that in 2008, the Commission on Youth Development actually did a comprehensive study on the challenges and opportunities that were made available to youth back then. That culminated in the declaration that followed after Declaration of Paramaribo on the future of youth that led into the development of what we paraphrase as a CDAP, the CARICOM Youth Development Action Plan, that really operationalizes the recommendations coming out of both the analysis that was done and the declaration. But of course, this was over 10 years ago. So as we seek to ensure that the needs of our young people are met, and met in a very practical way, we have decided at this point that we would reconstruct the CDAP by looking very closely on the actual needs that are occurring now, especially given the fact that we had COVID-19 that has exacerbated quite a number of the issues that our young people have been facing. And so we designed a project around this where we will be collecting, and we have been collecting data through focus group discussions with our young people. And the forum now creates the avenue or the platform for other young people to come and voice those issues, and not only to voice the issues, because of course the focus group discussions would have given us some background information on the issues and other research methods that we have been employing, but also to give us their voice in terms of the recommendations that can be used to address some of these issues that they're having. Of course, the common phrase now by our young people is nothing with us without us. So of course, having youth development on our agenda, we have created this platform, a safe space for our young people to come on board and to make these recommendations. But not only are these recommendations are going to be made at the forum, we will have our president from Suriname, who is actually responsible for youth development in the region. And he will be there to hear some of the issues and the ask of the young people. So the forum will allow for the discussion around the issues as well as the recommendations moving forward. After the forum, we have planned, and we have our dean of the CARICOM Youth Ambassador, right, Ambassador Program, who was actually selected as our point person, who will bring some of these the findings, I would more say, from the focus group discussion and bring it to the heads of government with the support of the president of Suriname to ensure that these issues are heard and the recommendations are being made. Of course, there are a number of things that will happen thereafter, because we will have our COSA that will actually look on reaffirming and making the necessary recommendation and endorsement as we move forward.
We have, as part of the collaborating committee for this forum, the CARICOM Youth Ambassadors Program, the Caribbean Regional Youth Council, and UWI-STAT. Tell me about that collaboration.
Well, part of our agenda really is to bring together the regional youth leadership groups. Of course, all of these groups work together. Well, they work independently as well as collectively with similar agenda to advocate for youth needs. And so we thought it best that if we're going to be having a regional youth forum, then it has to include the voices of all these regional groups. These young people are young people who are leading other young people and advocating for other young people. So we have incorporated them as part of the planning, and we consider them our partners because, of course, we're working towards the same goal.
Okay. Renee, Michelle alluded to your very important task of aligning this forum with the highest decision-making body in CARICOM. How do you feel about that role of reporting back on the recommendations to the Conference of Heads of Government when they meet early July?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for that question. Occupying, of course, the position as the Dean of the CARICOM Youth Ambassador Corps, I have been in communication with young persons and youth groups from across the region for the past 1 to 2 years. And one of the main concerns of young persons is that we need change from the very highest level that there is, which is at the heads of government level when it comes to changing the youth development landscape within the Caribbean region. And so being able to present recommendations by young persons and youth groups who have been working in the field for quite some time to the heads of government really is a breaking point for many young persons, and they are really looking forward to seeing how this is able to develop a transformation when it relates to youth development. So we would be offering recommendations in many of the salient areas that affect young persons, such as education, employment, climate change, and health. We know that those are some of the pressing issues affecting young persons and areas that young persons really want to be involved in. And so many of the recommendations that will be coming forward and being put forward to the heads of government will really provide young persons with a sense of assurance, knowing that, okay, more can be done. And of course, we are going to try to see how best we are able to, as young persons, work in partnership with the heads of government to make a better way for young persons who are coming after us.
Okay, thank you so much. Savion, what has been UWI-STAT's role in the organization of this forum?
Thank you so much for that question. By the way, it's Savion.
Not Savion.
But it's okay.
I got it right earlier, you know.
But yeah, UWI-STAT, the UWI-STAT Corps, which is a regional organization, representing the different campuses of the University of the West Indies. Our role really throughout this entire process was making sure that there's more penetration of the UWI-STAT ambassadors being heard and seen, given that they are in a very unique position to be called regional ambassadors. They're representing the vice chancellor of the university. It's a very unique place for them to be in a situation like this youth forum, where they're able to explain themselves not just as a Jamaican or a Barbadian or an Antiguan, but as a Caribbean national, understanding that they're representing a Caribbean organization, right? And UWI-STAT has been ensuring that the legacy and the reputation, not just of the Corps, but of the university itself, is being embodied with this forum by ensuring that, we're not staying silent. The ambassadors, not just on the Mona Corps, but all of the different campuses as a whole, they're ready to be heard and to be seen. And that's our role, to be the youth that can be seen, can be heard, and can bring forth the change that we want and that we truly deserve, in our region. So that's really what UWISTAT role is right now, in the not just in the planning committee, but by extension, the CARICOM Youth Forum.
You heard Michelle speak about the CARICOM Youth Development Action Plan and how this forum is critical in aligning that action plan with the needs of the young people in the region. What are some of your particular expectations from the forum?
That's a very good question. Personally, I am really expecting the forum to be one that will focus on ensuring that what we have been asking for a very long time is being done. And as I said, that really simply is having our voices being heard, having our voices being seen, and letting people understand that we're not we're not only just here to be seen as some, future. We can't be the future if we're not going to be doing anything to contribute to that future, if you understand what I'm saying. So I'm expecting that there are going to be a multiplicity of perspectives on a variety of issues in this forum, that the youth will be very passionate, that will be very endearing and understanding and respectful, of course, of each other and our different views, and that we can come to some sort of agreement in the fact that we are all trying to make ourselves better as a demographic within the Caribbean society, and that we can move forward into greater and better heights in the future.
Thank you. Ashley, I know that the Caribbean Regional Youth Council is the regional youth body that seeks to amplify the voices of the youth towards advancing the development agenda of the youth. Tell me about what your role is, your organization's role is, and what are your expectations?
Hi, thank you so much for that question, and thank you for having me here at this session. So the Caribbean Regional Youth Council, I believe, is poised in a very strategic position in that we are able to amplify the voices of not only the national youth councils across the region, but other youth affiliate organizations that may necessarily require an additional platform to get their plans across. And thus far, in planning this forum, we've been able to gather a preliminary research, being directly responsible, or rather liaising with the national youth councils. We were able to research their previous documentation regarding youth policies for youth development, youth opportunities in the various nations, and their perspectives on it. We were able to collate that information from many countries and directly speak with them in order to, encourage them to join this forum, to share their plans, their ideas directly with us. All towards the common goal of ensuring that this is not necessarily just a cosmetic occasion or something that is done for show, but something that will yield very tangible, long-lasting, and sustainable results.
I know that CRIC has also been involved in training and capacity building initiatives. Could you tell me a bit about that and some of the other work you've been involved in towards advancing the youth development agenda in the region?
Thank you for that question. Well, the Caribbean Regional Youth Council right now is in a very special place. We're in the process of redeveloping a lot of our strategies, rebranding also, and really starting to become more involved on the ground level in the various nations. We recently held a training and capacity building workshop, which was able to assist young people in really pinpointing some of the areas that they were passionate about and how to directly get involved. And CRIC's main mandate, of course, is amplifying and being the voice of change and of reason for the youth across the region. So in addition to providing training and capacity building workshops, we have been directly speaking with the various national youth councils to assist them with the development of their programs within the country. Because, as a region, in order for us to succeed, we have to first do well in our homes, in our nation, so that we can bring those effective plans forward and collaborate so that as a whole, the entire CARICOM community can be able to benefit.
And Renee, I want to pivot back to you to talk about the CARICOM Youth Ambassador Program. I know recently you were involved in the Youth Dialogue on Agriculture during the Regional Agri-Investment Forum. Could you tell us some of the high points of that engagement and a bit about the other work the Youth Ambassador Program has been doing, particularly the EU PAHO Regional Climate Change and Health Project, and some of the other things on the CYA's agenda.
Thank you so much for that. Well, the CAP, as we know, is the community's mechanism for youth involvement in the regional integration movement. And so much of the work that the CARICOM Youth Ambassadors do is helping to raise awareness and get young persons actually involved in the integration movement, finding out more about CARICOM, the CSME, many regional institutions and organizations, and essentially trying to convey the benefits that young persons can get from being involved in the integration movement, things like benefiting from the CARICOM Skills National Certificate, for example. Those are some of the initiatives that the CYEs are currently engaged in. As it relates to the Youth Agri Forum, I did not directly participate. However, one of our other CYEs participated, as of course, the CAP does recognize that agriculture is in fact an integral area of concern for the region as a whole because of our issues with food security. And so we were able to engage in the conversation and make our contributions, because essentially what we are saying is that we need more resources, especially for young persons, want to incentivize them to enter into agriculture, and also resources for youth, farmers, and other persons who are involved in the agriculture industry. Additionally, of course, for the past year or so, the CARICOM Youth Ambassadors have had a partnership with PAHO through the Secretariat, and we are in the process of receiving different types of support, financial and other technical support, to execute climate change and health projects in various member states. And so many of our CYAs, I know in Trinidad and Tobago, for example, we are doing a recycling project. St. Kitts and Nevis, they are doing a composting project, and many other member states, or the CYAs in the member states, sorry, they are focused on doing different types of climate change and health projects. And the end goal behind this is really to ensure that young persons can become involved in climate change and health, because of course the partnership between CARICOM and the PAHO seeks to promote a One Health approach, so that persons can understand that climate change is not just an issue in silos, but it affects many of the different facets of our life and livelihood, especially as we are small island developing states. And so we're really looking forward to seeing how we can expand on our climate change and health projects, continue the partnership going, and also try to ensure that young persons are a bit more informed of climate change and are excited to engage in climate action.
Thank you, Renee. For closing words, Michelle, I know this is a virtual forum, but when young people get together, it's still dynamic. So tell us about the diverse range of participation from both regional and perhaps international development partners.
Okay, well, we will have, the invitation was actually sent out to all member states and associate member states. So we will have, and based on our registration so far, we have seen representative from each of those countries. We also have extended invitation to PAHO, to UNESCO, the Commonwealth Secretariat, and other partners that we work with on our youth projects. I think that the forum will be dynamic. I mean, the vibes that you get from even the planning committee, these young people who are here representing today, they bring with them a level of excitement and vigor that you feel the need, and not only the need or the issues that they're experiencing, but the need to put life within the youth sector and the youth sector development aspect. So the forum itself will actually have entertainment. And of course, for me, you could never miss that. When we talk about young people, we have to think about how we can keep their minds active. And they themselves, who are part of the planning committee, have actually identified young people within their circle who is able to bring the entertainment to us. We are expecting vibrant conversations and also vibrant views and new and innovative ideas that will come from our young people that may even spark thoughts in our minds that for us to understand that our young people are indeed the game changers.
Well, I am looking forward to being part of that dynamism, being a part of that energy, along with you guys on Friday. Michelle, I know that there are some other exciting things on the CARICOM Youth Development agenda, like the recently launched mental health survey and the survey on general youth development, but I'll bring you back to talk about that.
Sure.
In the meantime, thank you so much, Renee, Ashley, and Savion. Did I get it right this time? For
Yes, you
being here
did.
with us to talk about the CARICOM, the inaugural
Yes.
CARICOM Youth Forum under the auspices of the President of Suriname. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good rest of the day, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on Friday.